We have a few more days around Jiankou. Our family has a little courtyard in this valley, and we have been coming up to the wall from a very early age. We have seen it in all kinds of weather. We have seen it littered upon. We have seen it broken down. But in recent years, some parts of the wall here have been restabilized. But before that happens, something very important has to be done first. It's a cold day, really blue sky, and we have some of our archaeologist friends with us today to show us some new discoveries in our valley. A few sections here have recently been restabilized and refurbished. Before the refurbishing, they would conduct an archaeological dig. And today we're going to go to the site and see some things that maybe we have walked over many times before. Fantastic day today on the path to the wall. Saying that they're limiting the number of hikers and photographers coming up to this section because the bricks that were once buried deep below ground, they're wet a lot of the time, and when they dry they become brittle. As people step on them, they break easily. Even the archaeological team, they have to be very careful about stepping on the intact bricks. The expert shows us locations where the wall has been badly damaged. So as you can see, the wall behind us, the side walls have collapsed and it's revealing the fill of the wall. And you can see the fill of the wall is roughly cut stone, piled inside, in layers of course. And on the outside they had these more elaborate carved. Right here it's limestone blocks, but if you remember, about 10 days ago we were in Laiyuan, and the wall there is made of granite, so they used what was locally available. So here it is mostly limestone, but here, as you can see, there's some kind of a trough washout. This is called a trough washout. When water gets into the fill of the wall, as you can see, it's like a sponge, and in the winter it gets really cold, so it freezes, it expands, and as you can see, all of these blocks have been pushed out by the expanding ice. And for us archaeologists today, we can see what's inside, so it's almost like a cross section. As you can see up there, that is the main body of the main wall. But down here, it seems like there's a bit of a dry stone wall merging with the rock face. And the expert here, he says that these structures, and of course the size of the mountains, they stopped the enemy from getting too close to the wall too easily. Oh, it's like a buffer zone? It's like a buffer zone, yeah. We're shown the heated beds that the soldiers must have used and cherished in the cold winters here. But the real gems of this archaeological dig has already been taken down to the village. The first of which is a roof guardian. Beasts like this rested on the roofs of towers. They could scare away evil spirits and could be used to discern the importance and rank of the building. The other object is a window into the Ming dynasty. This plaque found on the wall shows who was in charge of what in what period of time, who was in charge of stone masonry, of building, of the troops, and so on. The traditional method of creating a print or rubbing is about to be performed here today. Handmade calligraphy paper is placed on the stone.
The plaque is cleaned with a brush before the paper is set. The paper is softened and weighed down, so it takes the shape of the stone. We wait for the paper to dry, and then it is sprayed again and dried again.
稍微干一点，稍微潮一点。
就是那个不能太潮，网上就有卖的，很贵，一个一双得400块。
带着吧。
A specialized brush is used to brush the paper into the characters.
你扫完之后纸不能有褶，所以它就要保证利用这个水的这个吸附力，让这个纸在杯上待着。就是说在于这个纸跟
The paper has retained just the right amount of moisture for the paper to fully set into the grooves of the characters.
有损害的。你看这不刷把纸给刷破了吗？待会儿拿一张纸，咱们每人可以试试，就是这个生圈，普通的生圈，没有泡过。
那有什么？
到时候根据杯来决定用什么纸。因为这个纸它是手工做的，它厚度不可能保持一样。你比如说有的纸薄，它扫一下这纸就进去了。
为什么连这个边沿都要？
就跟那个房子做地基一样，建房子你要把地基打牢。
Calligraphy ink is added to 2 sponge stamps as the expert gets ready for the rubbing.
乒乓球拍吗？那是真的乒乓球拍？
不是，
这是墨板，这叫墨板。
不是乒乓球拍，大概是它的厚度的一半。这是我那天给你那还是那个摔裂的那个，一硬关成。
When he has deemed the conditions to be perfect, he begins the rubbing.
另外就是说用的不顺手。 不能像斑马似的黑一条白一条，然后我想这条黑那条白，那不行。部分全都是它的官职。嗯。 刺眼爆火爆，
这个听着啊，听这个声音啊。
The stone is neither discolored or damaged. This print is perfectly made.
那必须的。
就是你看它的那个声音，它虽然没有胶，但是听那撕拉那个声音特别像胶，因为它扫纸的时候力量很大。
Before we got too comfortable, we decided to get back on the road again.
There in the mist, silent, majestic, terrible, and enormous, stood the Great Wall of China.
Quite a chilly morning, frozen hands, and the wall is up there. Nice clouds just rolling over. I think that's Roadblocks.
Yes.
It's the Hunchback Tower. We know this area quite well. We've been up there maybe 500 times. Literally. There should be a sea of clouds on the other side.
Which would be quite nice.
Yeah, looking forward to that. Should warm up in the forest. Whoa!
Lots of cloud over there.
Wow.
And it looks like there are some clouds crashing into the mountain over there. But yeah,
Nice.
the sights you see on a journey like this. Let's go up these steps and get a wider view. Take a look at this. Why did they build the wall straight up this mountain and loop back instead of just cutting straight across? Well, the wall is a defensive structure, and especially in the mountains, the high ground needs to be occupied by whoever, has any sense. So the Chinese, they built the wall painstakingly all the way up to the top of this mountain, just to occupy that height advantage, so that the enemy cannot occupy that height advantage and fire down upon the Chinese wall. So we're going to be following the wall towards the east, towards the sun.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Good. What are you doing there, Tommy?
You see here, in the pavement brick here, there's a dog's paw print embedded there, and that's 500 years old. The dog's long gone, but you leave traces behind.
Can you get the dust out? I think it's 2 dog paw prints.
Yeah, there you see, boop, 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 boop. Right there.
And the other one is
So it's on top.
there, I think.
Yeah, and you can see the nails, the nail print.
So when this brick was still clay, like wet, maybe the village dog ran across it. And as you can see here, there are a few parts to the battlements on both sides of the wall. These side walls, these are called battlements. We're on the wall right now. This is the really high Great Wall, but on top of the Great Wall, there are these side walls. They are called battlements. So this part of the battlement is called the merlon, M-E-R-L-O-N. It's like the shield for the defender. And then that part, the gap in between the merlons, that's the embrasure. So that's where a guard would stand with his bow and arrow or his crossbow and try to fend off the enemy. And here we have a loophole. So these loopholes were an emergency measure. So if the enemy got really close to the wall, you wouldn't want to stick your head out there because the Mongols, they were great archers. They'll shoot you right through between the eyes, y'all. I think we're about 20 minutes from Mutianyu. That's the tourist site, very famous tourist site with cable cars. And we'll try to navigate that. We may be able to get into the tourist site. If not, we'll go down the slope right next to it. Let's go? Let's go. Oh, magical. Quite steep. A gateway. Oh, this is quite secluded. And look at this tower. It has no brick roof. You can see there's a gap in between those bricks. That used to be where the wooden ceiling would have been. So this is a cheaper version of a tower. It had a wooden ceiling and possibly a stone stairway up there, evidence from this pile of bricks. There is. I've seen. There are a few people out. Tourists.
Really?
Yeah.
That person's got a red cap.
So we've just got on the Mutianyu tourist site, Great Wall. This is the original Great Wall, but they've stabilized it quite a bit with new bricks, and it's made to look old-ish, but it's pretty pristine. They've got all the trees out, the fill of the wall. Back there was the wild wall, and you can see all the trees still on there. So this is a change.
We continue our way across the suburbs of Beijing, along the line of the main wall, seeing as much as we can. Most villages do not permit access to outsiders.
Berries! Don't know if they're poisonous or not.
Making bigger main roads our only route forward.
This one is very elaborate. Look at this.
We see all kinds of ingenuity when it comes to roadblocks.
Some repurposed farm gear.
Yeah. You see the wall? You see it? Woo! A mountain in the distance there. There's wall all along there, and then a few towers along this ridge. See if you can, if I zoom in a bit more. Oh yeah, that's good quality. Very nice.
We keep our hopes high for exiting Beijing swiftly.
Dumplings, some egg, nice sauces. Super tasty. We want you to have some coffee with us. Some titanium cups, a Bialetti mocha pot, and a flame going. That's right. It goes.
We're only a stone's throw away from one of our favorite sections, but it's in another province, Hebei. To go out and then into Beijing again is simply not realistic in COVID China. We need to make a swift, singular move. Our whole team out of Beijing in one go.
Whoa. Yeah, we see a lot of these roadblocks everywhere, and quite a lot of ingenuity and different ways to stop vehicles from going down roads. You know, we've seen that's probably one of the most elaborate. It's usually just a pile or maybe some wood. That one seems to be actual structure, you know, it's evolving.
As we get ready to move into Hebei, we find that both of our support crew members have a pop-up window, a virtual ball and chain, installed in the government pandemic control apps.
big problem today, and that's both of our crew members have a pop-up window on their health code for Hebei. That's the next province we're going to go through after we leave Beijing. And we're thinking, backup plans if our crew can't come with us. How are we going to run with our gear, with so much gear and, camping gear and everything? We first thought maybe like a sled or something, or one of those, for moving cargo.
Yeah,
And then we started looking at prams.
prams seem good.
Yeah, and
those fancy Californian prams that parents run with.
If you're looking to exercise with your child, with your baby, you're gonna see bricks, and you're gonna see cobblestones, and you're gonna see tons and tons of snow in the winter. How are you gonna get all over those things? And an all-terrain stroller is the best type of vehicle, like baby vehicle, to get over those things. And with the 16-inch wheels on the back and the 12-inch wheels on the front, it is going to go over all of the terrain absolutely beautifully. So here is the Bumble Ride Indy, the Bob Flex, the Thule Urban Glide 2. Love the Thule Urban Glide 2. So this is the Upper Baby Ridge. So this is the Bob All-Terrain. This is the Bumble Ride Speed. Something about Bumble Ride is that's an eco-friendly company, lots of recyclable materials.
yeah, those that have disc brakes and like really good quality wheels, that's what we're looking for.
We return home and place an order on a new stroller. We knew that we could not stop, we could not stay put and wait for the policies to change. So we must move forward, no matter how.